Welcome to Fear the Walking Dead after show here on the stream.tv. I'm your host, Sue Castillo.
And I'm Michael Tiberi. And we are on a roll. Can we just, up top, our predictions. Once again, we have not failed you guys. Whatever life advice you may need, tweet at us. We can provide. We've obviously conquered all of our predictions this season with no, let's forget about a little couple mishaps. But anyway, point case, Griselda's dead.
Griselda's dead.
We've been on this train for how long? I mean, we've been on this train, I think, since season one, since the second episode when Griselda was introduced. Is that correct? Did she come in second episode?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was second or third, but yeah, like, we get introduced to Griselda, and already I was just like, subtitles? Nah, man, this character is not gonna last, and sure enough, she bit the dust. She was taken out by her foot.
Yeah, and it was a very kind of terrifying manner, you know, after she died when they injected the gun. It was almost like this staple gun right into her forehead. You know, obviously to, you know, stop in the brain and to, you know, to ensure that she was dead. But it was kind of one of those moments where I was like, oh, I don't even know if I could do that. I can't even drywall at my house. So it's like trying like.
Yeah, it was kind of like a bootleg like nail gun. But yeah, they use that like usually to like humanely put down animals on farms.
Yeah.
But it was
now
the same.
We're using it on people. So
now we're using it on people, and, and then we've got Ophelia who confronted Corporal Adams. Call that shit. Like.
You did. That was. I know that was something that you had talked about, and it was. Yeah, it was bound to happen.
It was. I mean, she didn't just confront. I mean, it wasn't like she was initially just confronting him. She was kind of confronting the whole military.
Yeah.
But it was to get Corporal Adams' attention. I mean, of course, you know, so she can like take him to Dad, and Dad can torture him for information. But she confronted him.
Right, and she did her due diligence.
She did. She vetted. She tried to vet him out to Daddy. Daddy wasn't having it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was insane.
So now that we've talked about how right we are, let's continue with that path of knowledge and talk about our predictions for the last and final episode of this season. Yes. So what do we think? We think Daniel is going to release the zombies from the arena.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I definitely think Daniel is willing to get his hands dirty and do whatever is needed in order to do so. And I feel, because towards the end of the episode, when he goes to the arena and sees it chained up, and he's somewhat kind of
intrigued.
He's intrigued, but you could also see some kind of horror on his face, or like just shock and appalled. And it's just like, anything could shock and appall this man now after all the stuff he did?
I agree. And now I think that every episode when people act so surprised, I'm like, let's not be surprised by anything anymore. At this point, like, nothing should surprise you. If a zombie falls from the sky and lands in your pool, like, believe it. Because there's nothing else to not believe at this point.
I also, a prediction that I do have is we got introduced to Strand in the episode, and then we got to see more of the characteristic, like, the character of Corporal Adams, like what makes him tick, what kind of person is he, and same with Strand. And I feel like, you know, on Fear the Walking Dead, they're not really going to explore those things on a character if they're not going to be seen more so. And I feel like those are characteristics and traits that would then show that my prediction, Strand and Corporal Adams are going to join their group, the Clarks and the Manawas and the Ortizes, especially since they just tortured Adams, and they need to know how to get to where Griselda and Liza and Nick are. So I feel like they're going to use Corporal Adams to make their way to them, and I think Strand and Nick is going to make a break for it, and that whole kerfuffle with the arena, it's going to be an intense season finale.
Totally, and that, I think, leads into the next prediction of, like, the whole group is kind of going to converge upon the arena. You know, that I think everyone's going to come together in this motion, and they're going to, like, they will travel together. They're breaking out of the compound, and they're doing this now as a group.
Yeah.
And they have to. Like, I feel like there has to be that bonding moment between all of them where they have to come together and be like, we're going to do this, set aside our differences, let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really see them all going to the arena together. I do see Daniel breaking off and then using that to somehow, you know, get the military off their trail, or, you know, kind of like a diversionary tactic or something. But another prediction that I do have is I think Chris and Alicia are going to have, like, tension. You know, like that romantical sexual tension, that sexual nature. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's coming. I mean, Alicia's obviously mourning the loss of her boyfriend 2 days ago.
She acting out.
She's moved on rather quickly. New name, who dis?
Yeah.
She's really not taking it. And then finally, I kind of have a prediction about Nick, because I think Nick is just a complete wild card, that I think that Nick is absolutely going to wreak some havoc in this final episode that's going to cause, I think, some irreversible damage or maybe some very traumatic problems. Because I just think Nick has that, he is that personality, he's an addict, he just can't follow rules sometimes, or he's going to be like the savior. I think it could go either way. Like, he could just destroy, or he could end up really redeeming himself and saving somebody.
Yeah, I don't know about wreaking havoc. I wouldn't agree with you on that standpoint, but I do think you're right. Like, he can go either way, and his arc, I think that's the whole point of his character in the whole Fear the Walking Dead series, is he's the type of person that you kind of dislike, you can't rely on him at all, and then he's going to have redeeming qualities. I think that that's the reason why they paired him up with Strand, because it just seems like Strand is an opportunist as well, but I also feel like, because Strand said it, he was just like, come on, man, don't sell yourself short. You a heroin addict. That's like the gold standard of addicts. And Nick kind of looked at him funny. I can't help but Strand seemed to accept Nick for who Nick is. And Nick at this point is an addict. And I don't think any other character has ever done that to Nick. And so I think their relationship is what's going to maybe make Nick start changing for the better. So I definitely think he's going to redeem himself.
Yeah.
I don't know about wreaking havoc. I'll let you have that one.
We'll see what happens.
But I will say this: my last prediction is I think Dr. Exner is going to kill Liza. I think Liza is going to be the season finale death of the season of the main stage characters, and I think that Dr. Exner is going to somehow be responsible for that. Only because, like, at the beginning of the episode, Lieutenant Moyers tells Travis that, oh, that's not my call, it's Exner's. Exner's the one who's making all these calls. And it's like, well, okay, wait a minute, I thought Exner was a doctor. So, like, who the hell is Exner in all of this? She's kind of running the show, and if that's the case, it seems like she really wants Liza to stay on Team Exner. I don't think, because Liza's also a mother, she's going to put her family as a priority, and she's not going to leave everybody else behind because of how compassionate she is. I think Exner will think she's doing the right thing and put Liza out of her misery.
I strongly disagree with you, but I will let you have your prediction and run wild with it, and I wish you the best of luck. So, guys,
need luck.
Tweet us your predictions. We want to hear from you all week using the hashtag FearTWDAS. Make sure to check out our friends at theundeadwalking.com, where they've got tons more predictions over there. They're talking about characters, and they want to hear from you as well. So go over there, check it out, comment, get involved in that community, and let's keep our fingers crossed. We got one more episode. The finale is next week. Let's see what happens, right? All right, thanks, guys. Guys, for more of the Fear the Walking Dead after show, make sure you hit that button.
And subscribe to thestream.tv.